Well, it is extra exciting to launch this brand new series here across the Cobbitty Equine Socials behind the breeding barn. We're going to take you just exactly that, behind what is going on in this year's breeding season for the Cobbitty Equine Farm team. And the lady who's going to start it all off for us is the head of the whole establishment. Belinda McCarthy's been kind enough to join me. Binny, great to have you joining us. And I guess this is such an exciting time of year for you. Stressful, tiring, all of the above.
Oh, hi, Britt. Thank you very much. Yeah, it definitely is. It's one of those times of year where you want to be probably enjoying yourself a little bit more with the warmer weather, but we're the busiest we are. But we love what we do, and the season's already kicked off with a big bang, and we're super busy.
You and your team have had such a major impact on the breeding game, particularly in New South Wales in the last few years, and it's been a rapid ascent as well. So I just wanted to know a little bit more about how this part of the business came about, when it started, and why.
So we've always been in the racing side. We've done that for many years, started in Queensland and then moved down here to Cobbitty. And then it actually all accidentally happened, the breeding side, with Bling It On. He actually had a race fall at Albion Park in 2017 and he needed rehabilitation. So we thought, well, you know, while we're rehabbing, we may as well stand him. We also owned For a Reason, who was standing at Wagga. So we thought, well, if we're going to collect one, we may as well collect two. So they were the two boys who actually started it 7 years ago. So it was very by accident, to be honest, Britt.
Yeah, well, sometimes the best things are born from having to pivot a little bit, and that was certainly the case in this respect. But breeding's always been in your blood, so was it an easy decision? And I guess you had that, insight already. It wasn't as though this was a completely new strategy.
No, my parents were a bit like, what are you getting into? Obviously, Mum and Dad owned Golden Gate Stud at Canowindra. So I think they established that back in the early 80s, and they used to run about 400 mares, and we used to foal down about 150 of them. So Tracy and I'd often have the foal alarm duty, which I still curse that sound. But yeah, no, I'm doing the much simpler side though, obviously, just with the Stallion station. So yes, I've grown up doing all of that and watching Mum and Dad do it, and they stood four stallions at a time before Stature, Caesar Blue Chip, so America's Pastime. So they had quite a few there over the years. So yeah, so now I've come back and I'm doing the same thing. But I said to Mum, it's a lot easier than what they used to do, having all the mares and the foals.
And I guess as well, the technology of breeding has really changed over particularly the last little while with, you know, childer and frozen semen and all that goes into that. And I guess making it a little easier for breeders as well with those technology advances. So you're in the breeding shed at the moment. This is a pretty new part of the farm as well. It's state of the art. So you've left no stone unturned to make sure that this is a success.
Yeah, we obviously our first international stallion was McWicked, who really set us off in the American part of the world. So it was a big deal for us to get him, and then we had Cat Midnight, and you know, now we've ventured into the frozen market as well, with Huntsville being our first stallion. So you know, we've definitely, as you said, with technology now, and there's a lot more horses coming out frozen. So we wanted to enter in that market as well as the chilled. So yeah, our new breeding barn we built 3 years ago, and that was because we decided, you know, if we're going to get these American stallions, then we need to be able to ship to New Zealand. So it's a quarantine facility, and we can hold 12 stallions in here. So you know, we did it right. We spent the money on it, and you know, now we're getting the returns. So I've been offered, you know, some of the best you know, stallions that we can get our hands on.
I want to touch on those stallions shortly, but I'm just interested in what a week looks like for you at this time of year. And I'm sure you have plenty of helpers as well, but it must be frenetic, particularly with that volume of stallions now growing from one or two to many, and the popularity of many of them also. I'm sure that there's no quiet day at the moment, and they must be long days too.
Yeah, it's pretty good for the frozen stallions. Obviously, we've got to be organised with that, and as soon as someone lodges a contract, then we're getting their semen shipped to them. So the frozen's actually probably the easiest part of the game, to be honest. And we obviously collect the chilled boys that are standing here in the flesh 3 days a week, and we use a road company transport that gets to our harder locations that don't have airports, so that works really well. And then obviously we use Qantas freight as well. So it is pretty hectic just getting all the orders in, then setting up for the breed day, then actually collecting, obviously boxing up, and then coordinating the flights for our clients and telling them when their semen's going to be in. And yeah, it's pretty hectic. It's definitely 7 days a week, but yeah, no, we love it.
How important is the fertility of the stallions in making this a success? Because you've got quite a few young stallions on the roster, and I'm sure that helps with that. But when you're shipping semen right around Australia and to New Zealand as well, it's a very short time frame to make it happen. And if there is ever a little glitch in freight or anything, I'm sure the fertility levels are coming to play even more so. And it just seems like a lot of your roster are very good in that respect.
Oh, we're very lucky, Britt, and we've obviously got two exciting new boys this year in Confederate and Cannibal, and they're only young, so they're still learning. So it's a big learning curve for them. They both stood obviously the season in America before coming here, but they're still very green, and every day is a new day for them, and we're just still testing out their semen too and their quality and how long it can travel. And New Zealand's a big test for us because it obviously can take a day and a half before the clients actually get it. And both of our boys, our new boys, obviously they're getting them in foal, so that's the big tester for us. But as I said, we use different ways of getting our semen around. We try to use the most time efficient so that people can get the semen as quick as we can. But yeah, they're all very different in their quality and quantity that they give me. But the boys that I've got this season are amazing, and they're making my job a lot easier.
It must be an interesting time of year as well, because as much as it's breeding season for a lot of those North American-based stallions, this time last year was when Cannibal and Confederate were retiring, and I'm sure it's a very competitive market to get a stallion of that level. How have you found that? And I guess being a newer stud here in the Southern Hemisphere, it's something that I guess you've got to sell yourself, because there's others that have had a lot more dealings with these types. So how have you found that side of I guess, sorting everything?
Oh, as I said, you've always got to put your hat in the ring, but for us being very relatively new, you're coming up with your opposition that have been around for years and that are so well credentialed, and they've already got those relationships that they've been fostering for years. So it's definitely hard, but as I said, getting McWicked just that was our first step into it, and then getting a headliner like Huntsville. But you're always on the phone. We've obviously got connections over there. As it is anyway, and it is definitely one of those things that we're already doing it now for next season. So there's a few stallions that we're looking at, but you just have to offer the product that we can provide here and that we can sell and pitch and try our best. So, but yeah, hopefully we've got some new stallions to offer on our roster next year.
Well, that's exciting news. I can't wait to hear how that all plays out. All of the stallions, of course, are New South Wales Breeders' Challenge eligible, and that's a scheme that's so popular now. I think not only because of, I guess, where New South Wales is based, it's easy access for Queensland and Victoria, so it sits nicely in the middle there. And have you seen, I guess, Q-Breed is going well, Victoria having their struggles at the moment, but New South Wales has been strong for a long time, but being New South Wales Breeders' Challenge eligible, amongst a few other things we'll talk about shortly, it must be a real positive for people.
Oh, definitely. Obviously there is, some troubles going on in Victoria, and, no one likes to see it. We're a body that needs to work together, and you want to see every state going strong. So, as you said, the Q-Bred scheme's strong, our bonus systems here, and we've also got the blue, which is for mares and foals that are born in New South Wales. So I think it's imperative to keep these bonus systems going. As you can see, the effect that the effect that it's having in Victoria with them being with them saying that they're going to be lesser in value. So our breeders, then the buyers of the foals and the yearlings, we definitely need them, and it's a crucial part. In New South Wales too, they've had a scheme going where you can receive up to $22.50 back if you breed a mare and foal in New South Wales, and especially for my stallions, you know, the cheaper end of the scale, like your For a Reason, Bling It On, and Ultimate Machete. A lot of people, you know, they're actually getting money back to breed to those stallions. So, you know, it's huge. Our foal numbers, we need to get them back up, and these bonus systems are what, you know, are what makes it. So, but every state, you know, we've got our strong schemes in place, and but I definitely think New South Wales, with the Blue now, they've raised the money, the Breeders' Challenge, there's talk of them both being increased. And, you know, I think New South Wales is definitely the strongest state to be breeding in.
Yeah, no doubt. I agree. There's just so many opportunities as well. So you've mentioned For a Reason, Bling It On, and Ultimate Machete. And if you are to breed in New South Wales, getting money back, which is all important, because it's not just the service fee that you're paying to get a mare and foal, it's the other costs as well. But all three of those stallions have done such mighty jobs, particularly the homegrown boys. I know they'd be very special to you, For a Reason and Bling It On. And every day you look at the results, they've got a new winner. They just continue to fly under the radar.
Oh, they certainly do. You know, as I said, both of them, especially For a Reason, he, you know, he's getting 100 mares every year. He's been New South Wales Sire of the Year the last 4 years, and, you know, he's a credit to himself, and they're both beautiful to work with. And same with Ultimate Machete. He's got his progeny hitting the tracks now as well, and they're doing a great job too. So no, we're super proud of them, and they're all very well behaved, and their fertility is amazing, which I said makes my life a lot easier.
The frozen side of the business is growing, and I think it will continue to as well. As much as you love to have these stallions in the flesh, the fact of the matter is that a lot of them are worth a lot of money, and those stallion owners can sometimes be quite protective, and frozen is the way that they wish to go, which the technology advances means that it's certainly not of detriment at all. But you've got the likes of Huntsville and Bettor's Wish frozen this year. I believe they're the only two, but Bettor's Wish was super popular at the sales last year, and Huntsville's first few seasons down here were something quite phenomenal as well, not only here but in North America as well. So how are you seeing their bookings this year? And I'd expect that they're pretty popular.
Oh, Bettor's Wish is pretty much booked out. He's serving a limited crop in Huntsville. He's getting more and more bookings every day. As I said, he's doing an amazing job here and in America. So frozen, definitely, I think in the years to come, we'll see a lot more coming over. We were very lucky and very fortunate to get Confederate, you know, in the flesh. That was a big decision of Diamond Creek to do. It's not just your costs, it's, you know, your insurance, and as you said, the Americans don't want to ship them, their pride and joy, and you probably don't blame them. So I think the frozen will be on the rise in the years to come. But, you know, you speak to a lot of vets and they actually like it and prefer it in some cases because the semen's right there on hand, and, you know, it is an easy way of serving the mares, and we get great results. So yeah, it's definitely something that we want to continue to develop, and you know, put our arms up and hands up and say, yes, you know, we're doing frozen and chilled. So it's definitely a part of our business that we want to continue to grow.
I'm sure you're exceptionally excited for a few months' time when King of Swing's first yearling stepped through the sales. I have heard nothing but positive reports about his stock. Everybody that you talk to that has a King of Swing on the ground, whether it be a rising yearling or the new foals this year as well, just say they're the most magnificent type as he was. He had an amazing first few seasons as a stallion, but the next step comes now, seeing how they're I guess, received in the market, and then the exciting part when they start to step out on track. But it doesn't seem like all that long ago he was gracing the racetrack, and all of a sudden this new wave isn't too far away either.
Yeah, I know. Oh, we've had so many great reports, as you said, and people are starting to send us their videos now of doing the yearling preps. So yeah, he's been a stallion that I say to a lot of breeders that the breeders keep coming back to. You know, a lot of times people have a foal and then they'll swap, but he's definitely been a stallion that that's the percentage of return breeders is phenomenal. So I think that always speaks so highly for a stallion. So some breeders have said, you know, the foal's a week old and looks 2 months old. So they're all big and strong and extremely intelligent. You know, you witnessed King himself at the racetrack when he just stand there on the track and absorb the crowd and take it all in. And I think he's throwing that onto his progeny.
It's one of my absolute favourites. He made my job a lot easier when I didn't have to chase him around the track and when he'd stand there nice and still for me. So here's hoping a few of his progeny do the same. In terms of the newbies, Cannibal and Confederate, let's start off with Confederate because his attendance here in the Southern Hemisphere breeding ranks is something extremely exciting. I think everybody knows that already, but I can't imagine the excitement when he stepped off the transport truck and arrived on farm. All reports are that his fertility is extremely good. He's clearly got immensely good bookings. I've already caught up with Bill and Ann Anderson, and of course they have supported him heavily, but it's not just them. Could he have the best maiden book ever in the Southern Hemisphere? It seems that way.
Oh, definitely, Britt. He well, when he arrived off the truck, I don't think it was exciting. I think it was more nerve-wracking, thinking I've got this absolute champion here in my hands. I think I went to bed at about 4 a.m. So it was a stressful night, just making sure that they both settled in. And but yeah, they both have settled in a treat. And Confederate himself, I think honestly he does have the best mares in the country in both Australia and New Zealand have supported us amazingly as well. So I can't thank the breeders enough for jumping on board and giving this first year sire a go. So I think he's very exciting, as I said, to have down here in the flesh, and it's a credit to Diamond Creek and the syndicate for actually entrusting us with both of their boys. But I think he's one in 10-year horse, to be honest, Britt, and not just his breeding, but what he showed on the racetrack. We probably call them freaks, but I think he's very, very exciting, and he's going to really give it a shot as a stallion, because the mares he has got and the crosses that he has got are exceptional.
Well, just being that outcross as well, being by Sweet Lou out of a rock and roll dance mare, just makes him available to the majority of mares, which is a massive head start when we've seen the dominance of Bettor's Delight and that Some Beach Somewhere line. This is something pretty different for breeders to become involved in. I'm excited. I've got my 21-day scan for my mare that's gone straight in foal to him, so I can't wait to see that in the next 12 months or so. And just on Cannibal as well, if there was no Confederate, Cannibal could have been nearly the alternative, because he was so good just in behind Confederate all year. He's coming in at a really affordable price point, and his breeding, speaking to Adam Bowden, on the breeding side, he is exceptional, and he was the first choice of many involved with Diamond Creek even before he stepped out onto the track, and he's just got that beautiful attitude as well. I'm sure he'll do a job.
Oh, 100%. A lot of the breeders, obviously, they can't, they don't have the money to obviously go to Confederate. And I actually sell him as, he's actually wasn't that far behind Confederate. And his breeding, if anything, is probably a little bit stronger on his maternal side. So he's a beautiful horse to look at. He's a little bit shorter than Confederate, but he's beautifully well built, and he's not as fine as Confederate, but he's beautiful, and it's got the most gorgeous nature. They call him meatballs, so we've continued that over here. But no, honestly, I think he's really value for money, and that's what we wanted to stand him at a price that is that kind of entry level and suits a lot of breeders, and he's getting an amazing book as well. So he's very exciting to have here, and I think honestly he's probably one of the best value for money sides that I've got.
Yeah, I agree. He is very, very affordable, and considering what he was able to achieve, his breeding and all involved with him, it seems a no-brainer to give him a shot. So Breeders' Challenge eligible, Breeders' Challenge Blue as well for all these sires if they are served and born in New South Wales. But you and your team have already put together this race series for your own stallions, which is really groundbreaking and is just another opportunity. I guess that's what you're selling to people. You're selling the dream of having a good horse and being able to race for all this great prize money, and this is another chance. If you go to these stallions, you'll be doing this again.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, we've launched it again for this season, and although our breeding numbers are, declining a little bit Australia-wide and New Zealand-wide, we want breeders to breed. We need more foals on the ground. We need more race horses racing, and we want to give back to the breeders. We understand there's a lot of expenses are involved, and it's just our way of saying, we support you, we thank you, and so we've got two $100,000 races. They're both guaranteed for 2-year-olds. So so any of our mares that are served this year will be eligible. So it's really exciting for us, and we've actually got some exciting news coming up with that race. We've got a sponsor that's come on board, and we're going to be making some couple of changes for it, making a little bit more incentives for the breeders and owners. So we'll be launching that really soon. But we're super stoked to be able to do that. And as I said, it's just a way for us to say thank you and give back.
Well, we'll keep an ear to the ground in respect to those changes aren't too far away. We'll let you get back to it. I know Thursday, which we're catching up today, is a very busy day for you and the team. We really appreciate you joining us. Best of luck for the remainder of the season. And for those that are watching and haven't made a breeding decision yet, or maybe swayed to breed their mare this year when they weren't going to, I'd assume that you'd still love to hear from anybody and you'd be happy to sort of, I guess, give your knowledge as well on these stallions and who might suit what.
Oh, definitely, Britt. There's still plenty of time to go. We're just starting to really step up into the season now, and we breed to the end of January, sometimes even into February. So no, we're happy to help. We do matchings for people, and yeah, we'd love people to join our team.
Well, good luck. Enjoy the rest of the season, and thanks for your time.
Thanks very much, Britt. Appreciate it.